Hello and welcome to Suffolk U News, the weekly news program brought to you by the Department of Communication and Journalism at Suffolk University. I'm Rebecca Eshu.
And I'm Victoria Meneses. It looks like the weather has cleared up, so let's head outside to SU weather reporter Katie Marchnow.
Thanks, Victoria. The wind gusts are pretty strong out here right now, but the rain has stopped. Temperatures are going to be dropping tonight. I'll have more about that later during the 5-day forecast and the rest of your weekend weather.
I'm Rebecca Eshu.
And I'm Victoria Meneses.
Staying out late tonight? Take advantage of the late night MBTA rides before they're gone.
The Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authorities Board has voted to end late night T service, along with increasing fares.
The amount of fare changes is still up for debate, but some believe the monthly pass could increase by 13%, from $75 a month to $84.
As for the T's late night pilot program that was launched in March of 2014 to keep the trains running an extra 90 minutes on Friday and Saturday nights, the MBTA used the meetings to discuss the current usage of the program, budget, and closure dates. This service will officially end March 18th.
For more information on future meetings and events, go to the MBTA's website, mbta.org, for a complete list. Marco Rubio slams Donald Trump on refusing to disavow former leader of the KKK, David Duke. Trump blames his bad earpiece for not being able to hear the question correctly, but Rubio did not believe it. Rubio was quoted saying his stumbling statements make him unelectable and that we cannot be the party that nominates someone who refuses to condemn white supremacists and the Ku Klux Klan.
Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, and John Kasich made their way to Boston earlier this week to grab those last-minute voters for Super Tuesday. Bostonians came out to vote yesterday in the presidential primaries. SU News reporter Eleni Mata joins us live with the results.
A huge prediction in the beginning of the evening became a major accomplishment for both Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, taking 7 out of the 11 states that held their primary election yesterday on Super Tuesday. One of the main surprises, or maybe not, was that Trump actually won Massachusetts, getting a huge majority of the vote. He came out with 49%. Marco Rubio and John Kasich came a little bit behind him on second place, but with only 18%. Hillary Clinton also won Massachusetts, getting out with 50% of the vote, and Bernie Sanders really close behind her with 49%. Now, for the Bernie lovers, don't be too upset with this loss. Even though he's only gotten 4 states, the primary elections are still coming up. The closest one will be this Saturday. So there's still hope that he is able to catch up to Hillary. Now, for those on the opposite ends, either ends of the Trump spectrum, this win is a huge catalyst of what could be the next Republican nominee for this presidential election. For SU News, I'm Eleni Mata.
Everyone loves Super Tuesday. I did my civic duty. I went down to my local library. I got my little sticker. How about you, Rebecca?
Me as well. I went down to the State House early in the morning, got it over with. The union representing Massachusetts Stop and Shop workers have voted to authorize a strike if it can't reach agreements on a new contract with the company. A union spokesperson said the company's wage proposals are inadequate. It says to cut pensions, raise healthcare costs, and give new employees fewer benefits. The union members will continue working while negotiations are ongoing.
Coming up, a Boston school is upgrading its campus police firepower.
Also, warm weather is on everyone's mind. Is climate change the culprit? Stay with us.
Heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it.
You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay.
God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
Welcome back. I'm Rebecca Eshu.
And I'm Victoria Meneses.
Mass shootings nationwide are prompting Northeastern University to arm its police officers with semi-automatic rifles. Officers are already equipped with sidearms. This will be the 5th Boston college to equip their officers despite opposition from the Boston police. This policy is expected to launch in mid-December.
Global warming has been an ongoing issue for generations, but could Boston be leading a breakthrough? Reporter Shauna Newcomb joins us live from Boston City Hall.
Okay. Just behind me at Boston City Hall is a team of environmentalists working together to try and combat climate change. Let's take a look at their efforts so far.
You can see it everywhere. Solar panels, wind turbines, and even an award at the Paris Peace Conference. Boston is leading the fight against climate change. But who is the driving force?
Just down this corridor is the office of Austin Blackman, the Chief of Energy and Environment here for the City of Boston. Just moments ago, he spoke with me and really stressed the importance of collaboration in the fight against climate change.
So we really have to collaborate with our residents and our businesses in order to achieve those goals, making collaboration really, really important, but making then it even more important that we're leading by example.
At the Suffolk University Law School, Blackman teams up with the World Boston Organization to discuss future plans for the city.
Who here, just quick raise of hands, believes that climate change is a problem? Who thinks that they can do something?
Until then, Blackman says spreading awareness is at the forefront of the battle.
Yes, it's great that you're here, but now make sure that you come back with somebody that doesn't feel as passionately as you do about climate change, because that's the way that we're going to grow the base. That's the way that we're going to set a foundation where we're going to be able to make those deep carbon reductions.
To stay up to date with the city's progress, be sure to visit greennovateboston.org. Reporting live from Boston City Hall, I'm Shauna Newcomb.
It's so great to see our city making strides against climate change.
I agree. Hopefully we can keep up the good work.
Boston's Hubway bikes are coming out of hibernation this week. The bike sharing program plans to add another stop near North Station to accommodate the growing demand in all of Boston's neighborhoods. The company expects the program will surpass 5 million trips by the end of the summer or early fall. They are just shy of their 4 million rides since 2011.
After becoming legal in 2012 and 3 years of anticipation, this pipe dream has become a reality. That is for those in the Middlesex County of Massachusetts who want medical marijuana. The city of Lowell has opened the doors for a new medical marijuana dispensary. SU News reporter Jared Doherty has the details on the new opening and how convenient this facility is for one patient.
Puff, puff, passed. That is the Massachusetts Medical Marijuana Initiative from back in 2012. And almost 2,000 days later, a highly anticipated dispensary is now open in Lowell, Massachusetts.
I think it's a long time coming. Like, we voted it in 2012, and it's finally here.
This will be the 5th medical marijuana dispensary to come to Massachusetts, but the first one close to the Middlesex County, allowing for many patients to rejoice.
I like it because I won't have to be driving down to like Belmont or wherever like the other ones are, so having it local is a very big advantage, I think.
Those with a medical marijuana card can walk right in with no appointment necessary. From there, trained workers will meet with each patient to decide which strain of marijuana is best suited for each person. Patriot Care will begin with 4 different strains and hope to add 20 more. One patient is very excited for this dispensary, not only because it will be cheaper, but because the quality of the marijuana in a dispensary is much better than what you would buy off the street.
Medical marijuana, they look under a microscope, make sure it's all clean and nicest quality and highest potency possible.
Opponents of medical marijuana worry this will influence kids. They say smoking weed leads to abusing harder and more dangerous drugs. But Bob Ayer believes this is not the case.
The whole gateway marijuana thing is kind of a myth, because you can argue that those people started with cigarettes originally or alcohol.
Jared Doherty, SU News.
With facilities already in Ayer, Brockton, Northampton, and Salem, Patriot Care looks to add a few more to the area, including Boston. They hope to have a Boston facility located in downtown Crossing and to be ready by the end of the spring.
Find out why the renovations at Government Center has negatively impacted local businesses.
Also, details of how students at Suffolk are coping with the water damage in their dorms.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self. And I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Welcome back. I'm Rebecca Eshu.
And I'm Victoria Meneses. We are here with Katie Martineau. So Katie, what are we expecting for this weekend? Are we going to have some warmer weather?
No, unfortunately, we're done with the 50s for a little bit. It's going to be a colder weekend, but sunny. So we're going to take a look at the national forecast here. As you can see in California, it's pretty standard for this time of year. It's 78 degrees. It's really nice out there. Texas is also pretty warm. We're around 70 in the Dallas area, and it gets into the 80s as you get into western Texas. Florida is looking really nice for those of you who are going on spring break this weekend. I know a couple of colleges are. It's 78 down there, 82 down by Miami, so it's looking pretty fantastic down there. Up the East Coast, it's warmer than usual. As you can see, 50s up the coast. As we get into New York City, it's about 50. Here in Boston, it's 51. But up towards Vermont and New York State, it's a lot colder. It's 35 up there, 26 in New York State. So it's actually pretty chilly up there. Going into Massachusetts, as you can see, it's in the 40s in the western part of the state, pretty cold, 39. We get into 49 at Springfield, and then as we get into the city, it gets a lot warmer. It's about 51, 52. Down in the South Shore and towards the Cape, it's a tad bit warmer. And we're looking at a dry day for now. We had a lot of rain this morning during the morning commute, and it was even a little bit icy and a lot of sleet and a mix out there in western Massachusetts. So they had a little bit of a rough commute, but here in Boston, it was just rain. Even up towards New Hampshire, there was a bit of a mix up there with a little bit of snow too. But now we're looking at a dry day. So we had AM rain this morning, but now we're just dealing with a lot of wind for the rest of the day. But the temperatures are going to plunge. It's going to go to 22 tonight. So it's going to be pretty cold. Thursday, 35, mostly sunny. It's going to be a nice day out there. Friday, we're looking at the chance of snow showers, just in the morning though, and not too much snow. Saturday and Sunday, it's going to be a really nice weekend. It's going to be sunny on Saturday with 38, and Sunday is going to be 41. So it looks like a good weekend for everyone out there, but taking a break from the 50s for a little bit. Back to you, Victoria and Rebecca.
Thanks, Katie. One of the most popular connector stations has gotten a completely new look. According to the MBTA, after 2 years of renovation, Government Center has turned into a more accessible, safer, modern, and more comfortable facility. Our very own Jared Doherty has more from Government Center. Jared?
Thank you, Victoria. And after nearly 2 years, one of Boston's oldest train stations, Government Center, is scheduled to be open this month. Although some businesses around the area have been negatively affected by this closure, it seems as though the commuters have been the ones most affected by this inconvenience.
For the past 24 months, crew workers have been working at upgrading Government Center in order to make the station handicap accessible, safer, and comfortable for all commuters. While the MBTA's intentions are good, some businesses such as Pearl Vision have been greatly affected by the closed station.
I mean, fortunately, we still have a good core clientele. They have to come here anyways. But it's just the older people, which is unfortunate, that can't get around, that needs the station to open, and it has affected us immensely.
Government Center is one of the only train stations that provide a direct connection between the Green and Blue line. This has affected people's commutes, especially those relying on that link.
Have to travel now to Haymarket is very difficult to make the switch. It takes more time than usually we do with Government Center.
Because a lot of people have been having to take, like we said, taking the train to Haymarket or State Street, get off. I think it's going to be great for the public, and it's going to be very convenient for people to get back and forth from work or to visit the city, tourists and all that. So it's the MBTA getting back on track. It's good.
As of February, the highly anticipated $89 million renovated train station is on budget and scheduled to reopen later this month.
Government Center is scheduled to reopen on Saturday, March 26th. For more information, you can visit the MBTA website. Reporting live from Government Center, I'm Jared Doherty. Back to the studio.
This reopening should clear up some congestion on the T. Supporters of Bernie Sanders marched throughout downtown Boston on Saturday in advance of Super Tuesday. Hundreds rallied through the financial district this past Saturday. Boston's March for Bernie rallied one last time before a crucial day in elections, Super Tuesday. The march is a part of a larger movement for Bernie, focused on rounding up grassroots support. People voiced their supports for Bernie Sanders as they marched from the Massachusetts State House to Dooley Square. The march brought out local groups fighting against corporate greed and climate issues that the Democratic candidate supports. They feel Bernie will be the voice of change and a better future for the country.
To support a candidate that actually doesn't take corporate money and wants to take into account the massive wealth inequality in the United States.
Bernie Sanders represents a real challenge to the establishment. He represents a voice for the working class people that we haven't heard in national politics for a long time.
He really stands for the majority of the people, and the way he's doing it through a political revolution is what's going to achieve the best quality of life for everyone.
Everyone has a cell phone, but are they doing more harm than good?
We'll have the answer coming up.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
They were looking right at us. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Welcome back. I'm Rebecca Eshu.
And I'm Victoria Meneses. Last winter's weather was one for the books, with tremendous unpredictable damages all around the city. Although Boston didn't see as much snow this season, freezing temperatures caused one university dormitory to take a heavy hit.
Students were shaken after water started pouring from the ceiling and filled their dorm room. The heavy flooding caused damage to not only the dorm floor, but also some personal belongings.
Some of Gabby's stuff, her printer got water damage, so it doesn't work anymore, and her memory box, which is irreplaceable.
The extremity of the damage forced the students to move into emergency dorms in different residence halls while the room was being repaired. While only a portion of their belongings were ruined, this was a huge inconvenience for the students.
The water went through the walls. Like, how safe is this really? How long until we can move in? Because we're still a week later in the emergency rooms.
Students were not only inconvenienced by the surprise flood, but amid the confusion, felt a little lost in translation.
We got an email saying that our room was cleared to come back into and that we would need to be out of our temporary rooms in 10 West and Modern by 5 o'clock the next day, today. And we were just kind of a little rushed by that. I just came in here, I had to make 3 trips back and forth. I didn't get any help.
The extent of the damage was greater than anticipated, according to students who were above the flooding.
Everyone on this floor was going through hell, basically. Our bathroom lost lighting, we lost heat.
They turned the water
several
off too,
hours, yeah.
in the faucets.
It was just crazy.
For SU News, I'm Jackie Blutzer.
The Suffolk University dormitory was one of the many reported buildings inflicted with severe water damage in the area. The freezing temperatures caused pipes to burst in several buildings throughout campus, resulting in many class cancellations and building evacuations.
According to the Pew Research Center, 92% of Americans own a cell phone, making it the most commonly owned device. While we stare at our cell phones, are we missing out with what's right in front of us? Suffolk U News reporter Rosana Corrado has more on this.
Even in the noisiest environments, there's silence between two people sitting across from each other. This day and age, who doesn't use a cell phone? Some, like Kayana Farrow, would even say they are completely reliant on their cell phones.
I use it probably every 5 minutes for as long as I'm awake.
Cell phones can change people's lives. Kim Nguyen, who is normally very shy, would rather use his cell phone to communicate with others.
Not really, because I am very shy and very introverted, and I have a very difficult time to approaching to other people.
Do you think you're a good communicator in a sense of social media or texting?
Yes, I am, just because I respond very quickly to people's texts and social media.
Cell phones are in every family, but have they replaced family time?
You know, parents with their kids, and the parents were on their phones, but they weren't spending time enough with their kids, and they were completely distracted from it. And it just completely lacks interaction with face-to-face with other people.
Instead of spending time with loved ones, we now feel the need to always check our phones.
I think that I would like to be technology free a lot more than I am, just because everything that I have to do, or it's such a constant in my life to always have my phone or be texting and stuff.
Like everything and anything, use a cell phone in moderation. It's best for both connecting with others, but not disconnecting from things around you. Cell phones are everywhere. Can't live with them, can't live without them. But maybe it's better we put them in our pocket more often. This is Rosana Corrado for Suffolk U News.
Approximately 2/3 of Americans own a smartphone, but how smart is it to answer your phone on a first date or at a job interview? Maybe sometimes it's best to turn your phone off and turn the rest of the world on. Coming up, details on Tom Brady's new contract deal.
And there may be a ticket increase at the happiest place on earth. Find out why next.
heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early. You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
Welcome back. I'm Rebecca Eshu.
And I'm Victoria Meneses.
There's no sign of retirement for TB12. New England Patriots quarterback Tom Brady has agreed to a 2-year contract extension through the 2019 season. This season, the 39-year-old quarterback led the Patriots with over 4,000 passing yards for 36 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and an AFC Championship appearance. This deal also opened up some cap space for the team this year, something to keep an eye on as free agent signings are around the corner.
For the first time, Disney World and Disneyland ticket prices will increase depending on the time of year. Tickets will cost more on holidays and some weekends. Disney wants to exceed their guests' expectations, and the increase in prices will help better spread visitation throughout the year.
If you're thinking about visiting the New York Metropolitan Museum anytime soon, you may notice a slight change in their pay what you like policy. A settlement was reached this past Friday in class action lawsuit against the museum after visitors were misled about paying full price for admission. Their once recommended pricing will now be worded as suggested pricing, and the amount you pay is up to you. That does it for this week on Suffolk U News.
Thank you for joining us. As always, I'm Victoria Meneses.
And I'm Rebecca Eshu. See you next time.